What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Ordinary E. I'm just an ordinary guy learning about electronics, hence the name Ordinary E, in case you were wondering. You saw in the last video, before we begin this video, you saw in the last video I'm giving away another PC, the XPS Dell with the SLI dual graphics cards, and all you've got to do is subscribe and tell me where you're from, and that's it for now. And without further ado, let's get into this video. So, as you know, or you don't know, this is what I use to edit, and it's about 2 million years old. It doesn't work with the battery, you have to keep it powered on, plugged in, and I mean, it was good for its time. There's an E1 Vision AMD. I have upgraded the RAM in here, but it's just very slow, laggy. It's very hard to edit on. So it's called a Toshiba Satellite C50DA11R. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good to edit on or really do anything. It's not fast at all. So it's been winding me up. Then I moved onto the PC that I built for free. So if you've been watching my videos, you know I built the PC. I do stuff for free. I build them, and if I can, I'll give them away. And yeah, my personal PC I've managed to build for free. And I recently found a program called Clipchamp that my PC was able to run. Now I've tried multiple different free software to do editing on, and none of them seem to work on this PC. So this is going to be, I don't know what episode it is on the upgrade of my PC, but you saw that I upgraded the mouse, which I got for free. I upgraded the keyboard, which I got for free. It wasn't really an upgrade, but it was a working keyboard because my keyboard had broken. I've been collecting keyboards. And I was going to do the monitors, but I think on this one, because I want to start using this PC to use a better software for editing, so I can give you guys better edited content, I think we're going to start with the internals of the PC. And one of the first things I've come across is RAM. Now apparently RAM is, RAM is essential for your PC to work. It transfers the data from your hard drive into your RAM modules, which transfer data at nanoseconds, like the speed of light, into your CPU, motherboard, and whatever that does, and then it puts the images and data on the screen. I can't remember how much RAM I have in my PC or how fast it is, but yeah, that's essentially it. Now let's just go over so we'll look at what I've got in my PC in a second and see if I've got anything in this box, which are all bits of different RAMs that I've been collecting. I just recently got another free pickup, and there's RAM sticks in here, and there's also a CPU. Don't know what that is yet, so we'll look at that, and we'll look at the RAMs, and also did a diagram. So I know there's DDR4 and 5 out there, but I know my PC can't go more than DDR, and so I did a little diagram to help me sort through this box to see what DDR is, DDR2 is, and DDR3. And all you're going to have to do is, if you line up the module, there you go, straight away. If you line up the nodule and the notch matches the line that I've put on each one, so the line moves as it goes through the DDRs. So DDR3 was about 5.5 centimeters in, DDR2 was 7 centimeters in, and DDR1, I guess, or DDR was 7.3 centimeters in. So I'm just going to go through this box and line up, and first of all separate which DDRs I have. So we'll do that now. So that's all the RAM I have, and it's been separated into DDR3, DDR2, and DDR1, I guess. I have quite a lot of DDR1s over here. I've only got 2 sticks of Corsair DDR2s, 1000 megahertz. Okay, what's the capacity? Don't know. Doesn't really tell me. So the next thing I learned about RAM, and let's just get a motherboard out here and a drive, and I'll try and explain what I understood from everything that I've learned so far. Alright, so I've got a motherboard, which is another PC I'm going to build and possibly give away. By the way, that chip in there was a Pentium 4 226 maybe? Pentium 4 anyway, and the RAM sticks on here were the RAM sticks in the box were very weird. Like there's no chips on them. Maybe there's chips under that heatsink, but I can't tell because it's riveted in. But these two, nothing. Whereas everything else has chips on them. So those were super weird. Anyway, getting back to how everything I think works. And just to finish up on those notches that I showed you, which determine which DDR4, depending on your motherboard, that notch will line up with a notch that's on the slot to the side of your CPU, and that will determine whether it will fit in or not. But also check your motherboard manual to see what kind of DDR you can take and speeds. I think that might help in deciding what you're going to do. So anyway, how I understand it is that your data is on this drive, on your hard drive, which is, you know, a high capacity drive, permanent written data, right? Permanent. So this one, for instance, I don't know, 500 gigabytes of permanent data can be stored on here. This data on here is then transferred before, when the CPU asks for it, transfers to here. Now this only works when the power is given to it. So when you turn your PC on, that's when these RAMs activate. And so what it does is that it calls for whatever program, say you load up a game, it will take the game from the hard drive and it will store it on your RAM, which stands for, by the way, random access memory. So it's a memory. Essentially it's a memory. So it will take the game from here, put it onto here, and then it will, and then therefore your transfer speeds are quicker, because this moves at the speed of light, for more of a better, or Usain Bolt for more of a better eulogy, and this moves at the pace of a turtle. So if this wasn't here and you were trying to get data from a hard drive, it would just take longer, you'll get lag and loading times and whatever. So what it does is it takes it from there onto there, and this is super fast. So basically, quicker than an SSD, quicker than an M.2, like it's speed of light. Why they can't get these to be speed of light and not do away with these, so it's just one action, I don't know. That's for them to invent. But that's why you've got these, because these are super fast. Now, on these are the memory modules, and there's thousands and billions of bits of data that can be stored, wiped, and a million times or billion times a second it's being transferred and written and reset and all this. So all this is happening here in these modules. Okay, so therefore your computer, you don't even notice it, you're just working away and that's what's going on. This is transferring data like you wouldn't believe. Like, I don't know, I can't compare with what information and the amazing technology that's inside this little chip, just one. There's billions and billions of transistors and gates and cells and bits of data being stored and transferred, and it's all being controlled by other stuff, and it's just crazy. Super great technology, super fast. If they can make this a permanent nano light speed a second drive, then you could do away with a drive and just have these, and it'll be quicker, in my knowledge. But why I'm explaining that is because because there's two things, right? There is the storage that you look for. So this is, for instance, 1 gigabyte of storage, and then there's the speed. So this one, for instance, is 1000 megahertz of speed. DDR3. Now DDR2, this has storage of 2 megabytes, I think that is, and 1000 megahertz of speed. And the DDRs are 2 gigabytes here, for instance, and I don't know the speed, I don't know how you determine the speed, but yeah, what I'm saying is that I don't think the speedness between the modules will matter, because they all transfer data at the speed of light, right? Whether that's 1000 megahertz, 3000 megahertz, you are not going to notice a difference from what I can tell, because at 1000 megahertz, it's still transferring data at the speed of light. At 3000 megahertz, it's still transferring data at the speed of light. So for me, from what I gather, the most important thing is the capacity, the amount of storage. So I don't care which one goes onto my personal PC, I'm just looking for more storage, so that once the computer loads, it will take as much data that I need to be put here for direct access. Yeah, and that's the most important. They won't have to keep coming back. So the more storage you have in here, the better, I think. That's my theory. Anyway, RAM, which is random access memory, and it's only powered once you turn on your system. There's also DRAM, which is dynamic random access memory. Don't quite fully comprehend that. There's also GRAM. Now GRAM is graphics random access memory, and that's on your graphics card. There's nothing to do with this. And yeah, so ideally you want more capacity over the speed. You would choose more, in my understanding, you choose more capacity than speed. So with that basis in mind, I'm just going to go through and see what the biggest one I have is, what the biggest capacity RAM here is, and that's what's going to go in, and we'll see if that theory works. So let me just decide which one of that will be. Alright guys, so I have determined that DDR1 is, I do have more actually, I had that wrong. So, I mean, there's only a slight difference in the notch. There's 7mm, there's 3mm between the notches, so you can tell. But then I noticed this, see how long these modules are? compared to how they are in DDR2, and then how they are in DDR3. So it looks like they got smaller, so that's how you can tell as well. But yeah, and also DDR1s, I don't seem to have anything better than 256 megabytes. So that's out. So DDR1 is definitely out. Now over to DDR3, and I'm just going to go through, and I've got DDR2, sorry, and we've got things like 512. So 512, 256, again, so that's like DDR1, 512, 512, 512, 512, 512, 1 gigabyte, 2 gigabytes, 2 gigabytes, 1 gigabyte, we said that already, and this is 2 gigabytes, 2 gigabytes, and this one is, doesn't say, so don't know that one. So we can do away with the 500s, because the more capacity the better is what we're looking for here, is what we said. So at the moment, we can take away the 1s, because we've got 2s. So at the moment we've got matching pair. So that's the other thing you want to try and do, is match the pairs together, and you've got to check the serial numbers to make sure they're one after the other, or actually the same. So this says, I don't know if you can see, but it says they both say, how do I turn that around to you? So they both say 090222122 anyway. So you want to check that so that they're compatible, apparently. Don't know what that is, and I've got a 2 gig. Actually, I did have another one of those, right? Yeah. So we've got a matching one here, and you can see this says 39. Oh, so these are totally different. So these may not work together, although they're the same brand. So we've got 2 gigs, 2 gigs, 2 gigs, 2 gigs. And obviously that looks better. It has a heatsink. So I would go with that, and these two don't seem to match in the numbers. Let me just move this out of the way now. So what do we have? We have 2 gigs and 2 gigs, which should give us 4 gigabytes of 4 gigabytes of memory. Now we move over to DDR3, and the theme is it's probably going to be more here. So let's have a look at these hypers actually. What do we have? It doesn't tell me. So no idea what those are. No idea what that is. Hold on a minute. 1.6 megahertz, 8 gigabytes, and we have 2 of them. All right, so we've got 16 gigabytes just there. Hold on a minute. So that's winning so far. What do we have here? 1 gig, 4 gigs, not bad. 2 gigs, 2 gigs, 2 gigs, 4 gigs, 2 gigs, 2 gigs, 2 gigs, 2, 2, and 2. So it looks like as you go up in RAM, it gets more storage, because there's a 4 and an 8. Don't know what these two Furies are. Although, I mean, that's a Corsair 2 gig. But it looked like the normal standard kind of non-special. I mean, these are Hynix, Samsung. Okay, well, yeah. So 2 gigs here. So at the moment, got a 1 gig, 2 gig. So we've got 2 4 gigs, but they're different brands. So one's a Kingston and one's a Samsung. And then we have 3 Kingston 2 gigs. I don't know. I guess we have our winner here. We've got two matching pairs of 8 gigabyte RAM Corsair XM3, blah blah blah. We don't know what these are, and we can put the rest of it away. So we will try and see. We'll try and find out what these are. HyperX Kingston. No, it just doesn't tell us what capacity they are. Can you take the heatsink off? Probably not. But we'll try them out and see what they are. But it looks like if we can go with the Corsair, if it's compatible with, if it works, and we've got 1.6 megahertz, we'll just put that in the PC, and jobs are good in. So let's move over to the PC, see what we've got in a minute, see what happens when I swap out these ones first, and see what happens when I swap out and put these in, and hopefully it will work. See you over by the machine. Alright guys, so I've just opened up the side of my PC, I've turned it off, and I am going to turn it off by the power button at the back. Like so. And then you can see the 2 RAM modules up here, 1, 2. I'm just going to unclip them. I think this one requires both sides. Yeah, that does push out the module. Yeah, these are 4 gigabyte. You can see that. Yeah, these are 4 gigabyte RAM each. So I'm quite surprised. I thought I had lower. But yeah, we're going to try the Furies first and see what that does. So I'll just put these in. Alright, those are the Furies installed. Put the power back on. And yeah, I know, PC needs a clean. It's been about a year, guys, so it's time to start cleaning everything. I'm going to do a cleaning of my PC, a cleaning of the PlayStation. Alright, let's see what happens when we power this back on and go over to the screen. Alright guys, so we have the HyperX installed. Now let's check the memory. Task Manager, Performance, and Memory. And the HyperX is 8 gigabytes, DDR3. Page pool, that seems bigger, right? 5.9 committed, 9.2 gigabytes, 9.2 cache. Yeah, everything else seems the same. DIMM 2 of 2, da da da. Still, again, I can't see the speed. Yeah, sure. Not sure what the speed is. I just googled how to check the speed, so we can try something on the command prompt. So we'll just click run. Command prompt, CMD. There's that. And we're going to type in WMIC space memory. Oh, okay. So DIMM 1, DIMM 2, physical memory 8 and 8. What does that mean? That's not 8 and 8, which is 16, is it? Or is it just 8? Because I'm only getting 8. Is one slot not working? We'll check that soon enough. Kingston. Huh. HyperX. So it's a Kingston 24. 8 and 8. Here's the speed though. 1333. So the Corsair will be faster. Is that 8 and 8? Or is that 8 altogether? I don't know. Maybe it's 8 and 8. Anyway, it recognizes both of them, so that's a good thing. It's not 16 though, because it's coming up on Task Manager as DDR8 only. So it's not quite 8 and 8. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll put in the Corsair, and I didn't check the existing one actually. Should we do that? Now let's just go with the course. So we know this is a DDR3, and we know it's, well, we don't know if it's 8 gigabytes or if it's 8 and 8. But let's see what the Corsair one says, yeah? Let's do that. Alright guys, the machine's off now. I'm going to turn it off by the power again. I'm going to remove the RAM. I'm lifting up the tabs. I'm trying to get my hand caught in the cable. Oh, there you go. That's how you break RAM. And we're going to put the Corsair ones in. So, which way? Probably that way. Line it up with the notches. Don't push hard until you're sure. You can't do it with one hand, hold on. Alright, so the Corsair RAM's nicely in there. Go the correct way around this time. Power back on and turn it on. Let's see what happens. Okay guys, so we have the Corsair, 8 gigabytes of stick in. So we'll open up Task Manager and we'll see it's registered or whatnot. So we've got memory. Oh, we've got 8 gigabytes of DDR3 still showing. 2 dim. Okay, so something's wrong here. It definitely says 8 gigabytes per stick on there. Does it mean 8 gigabytes? Okay, this is weird. So it's exactly the same. Do I need to do something on the BIOS? Don't know. Oh, now this is acting weird. Okay. Let's try the command prompt that we just learned. So what was it? I think it was W W mic. That's how I remember it. W mic memory chip. Okay. Registered Corsair. Two of them. It's got 8 and 8. So this is like the HyperX. So maybe the HyperX is 8 and 8. And it's only saying 133 when on the stick. On the stick it's saying 10. No, it's not. On the stick it's saying 1.6. So that should be 600. 1600. So yeah, something's not right. Either the motherboard can't handle more than 8 GB, or one of the RAM slots is not working. Well, if that was the case, then it wouldn't show up. So this tells me that both RAMs are working and both are recognized on the motherboard, but we're only getting. Let's go back to Task Manager for sure. 46% performance. We're only getting 8 GB of DDR. So in use 3. And 4.3 available. Okay, guys, what I might do is go into the BIOS and either reset the BIOS by taking the battery out, or go into the BIOS and see if there's a setting I need to change. Let me see if I find it. Okay, guys, so I have found the problem. So I looked up my system information. I got the motherboard information. There it is. It's 39X3990. And then type that into Google, and I got the manual and the memory. So you just found the memory here. And the maximum system memory that this motherboard can support is 8 GB, and at a speed of 1333. So that explains why we're only getting that on the search and on Task Manager. So if I just go into CMD, which is the command window, and we do the W mic memory, what was it? Memory chip. So it does find the Corsair memory, and it's 8 gigs and 8 gigs, 133. So the motherboard, even though the memory is faster and higher, determines what it is. I also found out if you type in WMIC memory chip at speed, it will actually get you the speed. But again, the motherboard tells you, the motherboard determines the fastest it can be, the fastest it can handle. So it's only saying it's 1333. So it looks like I can't upgrade this memory, and therefore I'm going to have to edit this video again in pain, which is all right. What I'll do for the next video is I have a number of motherboards and CPUs, and I was going to save that for a new build, but it looks like I'm going to have to search for a motherboard that can handle more memory, and yeah, build myself a new PC, which means this PC will be probably given away. So I will search my storage of all the bits and pieces I have been given over the past year, which I appreciate, and thanks everybody who do things like that on Trash Nothing, Gumtree, and Facebook. It's always good to give stuff away. If you don't need it, let someone else try and use it. So yeah, totally promote that. And if you found anything useful in this video, unfortunately, I didn't succeed in upgrading my memory, but hopefully you found some useful pointers. The main thing being, check your motherboard before you, one, buy any memory, or two, think you can upgrade it. So check your memory, check your motherboard manual, make sure it's got the capacity or what the limits are, and you should be good to go. So we do know we have 4 sticks here of high RAM, so we're going to be looking for a board that can possibly fill 4 slots. But yeah, I've got a load of boards. Next video will be that. I do enjoy this CPU because it's a very good CPU. We just check the system information. It's a 3 gigahertz CPU. You can't really get too much better than that. I mean, yeah, the newer stuff obviously is 4 gigahertz. The best CPU this board can take is an i7-3770K, which I've been looking out for, but I can't find it for under $80, which is a lot of money. You might as well spend another few pound and get a high CPU. But that's only 3.5 gigahertz. So this is not a bad CPU, but unfortunately we are limited by the motherboard. Unfortunately. So yeah. Anyway, hope you found something useful. Again, subscribe, tell me your thoughts. Next video I'll just pull out all the motherboards I have. I don't know how many I have quite a few. We'll check them out. I do have CPUs. that I haven't shown you yet. I was planning to do obviously other builds with him and other videos, but it looks like I'm going to have to try and update mine before we can start giving more stuff away. So if you're interested, let us know. If you're in the Essex area and you want me to have a look at your PC for the fix or no fix video, again, drop a comment in the comments below. And if you want a chance to win the other PC, the XPS Dell, I'm still going to give that away. I don't think that's any better than this system. And all you got to do is subscribe and tell me where you're from. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next one.